Getting into Harvard isn't about being perfect. It's about knowing how to stand out. As a Harvard PhD candidate who has taught, worked, and studied at Harvard and the University of Chicago for over a decade, I'm going to tell you exactly how successful students set themselves apart and how you can too. I'm Shay. I'm a PhD candidate at Harvard with over 10 years of experience helping students from around the world, including international applicants, first-gen students, and kids from top prep schools, get into Harvard, Stanford, the Ivy League, and other top universities. This video is going to walk you through the biggest myths, the key strategies, and the real insider perspective on how to get into a place like Harvard in 2025 and beyond. If you're serious about applying, I've also linked the most trusted digital guide in the description so you can start building your application strategy now. Let's start with a tough truth. Most people applying to Harvard do the exact same things. They load up on APs or A-levels, they join 10 clubs, volunteer somewhere random, and write an essay about, quote, overcoming adversity and, quote, being a leader. Harvard sees thousands of those applications every year, and most of them get rejected. What Harvard is actually looking for is something I call a focused distinction. That's the thing that makes you, you. Something that's hard to replicate, deeply rooted in your story, and aligned with what Harvard calls future impact. This is the difference between being qualified and being compelling. Compelling gets you in. Every successful Harvard applicant I've worked with has nailed these 4 components. Number 1, an academic edge, not just strong grades, but intellectual curiosity that goes beyond the classroom. That might mean publishing research, taking university courses early, or building a clear academic narrative across your activities. Number 2, a distinct voice, essays that feel like no one else could have written them except you. That's where I develop your storytelling, not to sound impressive, but to sound real and unforgettable. Number 3, strategic activities. Instead of doing everything, you're doing the right things, projects, competitions, or leadership experiences that align with your story. And number 4, the Harvard fit. The application shows why you belong at Harvard. That means understanding Harvard's values, academic freedom, impact, leadership, community, and speaking directly to them. Let me give you 3 brief examples of real students who got in. The first is a biology student who researched disease outbreaks in her rural community and turned it into a published paper. I did something similar when I was in high school. I did research at the National Institute of Health that eventually led to a peer-reviewed publication at the age of 17. Loving research, loving to do something so well that it has a big result or a very immediate impact, or it can be published by people respected in an academic field or things related to that is a huge plus and a great example of something only you could have done. This student wasn't from a fancy background, but she had a clear academic voice and her story was unforgettable. I loved working with her. The second example is a violinist from the UK who created a mentorship program pairing teen musicians with seniors at retirement homes. Her application wasn't about music, it was about healing, innovation, and connection. And one of my favorite things about working with this specific student is talking about the ways in which growing up in London and growing up in different parts of the UK helped inform her ability and her desire to create this program that paired together young people and senior people to create a more cohesive understanding of what it means to enjoy life at different stages. Final example, we have an international student from India who started a podcast on educational inequality. No big awards, but the clarity of purpose was undeniable. He made sure that this podcast was accessible to as many people in India and created a platform where other people could come on his podcast and talk about the ways in which inequality affects them personally, either in work or in life. Each of these students had something specific and alive in their application. That's why I love helping students uncover their unique story and their unique perspective. So, what should you actually be doing right now? If you're in 10th or 11th grade, this is the time to start shaping your personal narrative as a student, build 1 to 2 high impact activities that align with your goals, work on your writing voice, not just what you say, but how you say it. Map out your application strategy early. You're never too early, trust me. So nothing is rushed when deadlines hit. If you're a parent watching this and wondering how to help your child succeed, it starts with early clarity and strategic execution. So, the reality is finding your personal voice and story that will set you apart in a competitive application pool can be tough. If you're a parent or someone looking for private coaching, I work with a limited number of families each year so my clients can get results. To request access, visit the link in the description box below. Harvard or any top elite US university isn't looking for perfect students. They're looking for students who know who they are, what they care about, and how to tell their story. That's what I'm here to help you do. So, subscribe to my channel for more insider strategy and check the links below for other tools. And let's build your pathway to the Ivy together. See you guys. Okay, this is great. I love working with ambitious students, and one of the greatest privileges I say I have is working with especially international students, international clients, because there's such a small percentage of, especially in the college, it's such a small percentage compared to everybody else, of slots available for international students. I always say that Harvard and the University of Chicago completely changed my life, and I think that's why I've just been so focused on trying to help as many people benefit from the same education that I benefited from. So if you have found this helpful and you know someone who's applying this fall or in future cycles, send this to them. Give them the knowledge I wish I had when I was applying to these top universities. I didn't have any of this insider knowledge. I never knew anyone that went to an Ivy League school. I never knew anyone who went to a top university. I never knew anyone that had the background that I have. So I am very serious about making sure that people have as much information as possible to make the best decision on what schools to attend, but also to attend the best and top university for them. It's so funny because I actually started off as a pre-med student at the University of Chicago, but because it was such a comprehensive and amazing university, it was very easy for me to pivot to the social sciences, a political science degree, which I graduated with honors, and I had an amazing experience. And I always say the best university to attend is one in which you can have the ability and the room to pivot if you need to. Because you come in with one degree that you want to pursue, and 9 times out of 10, it'll probably change and you'll want to do something else. So that is, an extra bonus tip or advice that I love to give people. So if you found this video helpful, I say share it with someone, subscribe to my channel, and you never know. One video can change someone's life. Okay.